No! I'm not doing this. Oh, memory. They'll kill you today. I can't buy you. I'm not that shit. Hey, memory, little of you. That's what you give your memory. I'm back. No. That's to kill me. So your friend, maybe some Mukumi, or see a pot is a whom my brother down, my brother simply. What better? What the machine is on West Trouble for? Asa, the man tardy, you didn't read Granny. You be yes, you
So there has been a 2-day demolition exercise that happened at a Ramsar site in Sakumono. And as we thought the exercise was quite successful, the 2 days has actually been without issues. Now, the very first day saw a comment made by the regional minister of Greater Accra against the northern regions, and that came with a lot of backlash, and apologies were made later.
If you issue a permit to an illegal, knowing very well that the place is illegal, you issue permit, you also face the law. Some of them has been transferred to the north. I mean, just to serve, I mean, as a kind of punishment for them, so that when they realize that what they did was wrong, and they bring them back to Accra.
Now, they too actually saw a 70-year-old man being assaulted by the security personnel when he was trying to stop a demolition of his structure. Oh no. Now I have all the gist for you. Go ahead and subscribe, like the video as we quickly get into the gist. Now, first of all, let's begin with what a Ramsar site is. Now, a Ramsar site is basically a lowland that is always seen around water bodies. Now, this particular land is basically preserved for ecosystem. There are some animals or birds that live at the Ramsar site, and in case of heavy rainfall or flood, the Ramsar site actually serves as a reservoir for this particular waters. It is mostly seen as a lagoon, or you can actually be able to find a Ramsar site at where there are lagoons. So basically we have about 5 or 6 Ramsar sites in Ghana, and one of those areas include Sakumono Ramsar site. So if you are someone who knows Sakumono beach very well, the opposite of the beach is one example of the Ramsar site. Now, in the Volta region or in Qatar, we have one of the Ramsar sites there, and that particular Ramsar site is used for cultivation of vegetables such as onions and lettuce. Now, in the Ramsar site or at the Ramsar site at Sakumono, there has been a lot of encroachment. Now, people are buying those lands and then setting up structures on those particular land for settlement. So a typical example of those particular sites is when you are moving from Ashaiman to Klagon, or there is a bridge before you get to Klagon, you actually be able to see a Ramsar site. Now, those particular areas have been encroached, and people have bought land and have set up buildings in those particular Ramsar sites. And many years we have seen demolition exercises being carried out at this particular Ramsar site. Now, one question that has been asked when the demolition exercise was being carried out on the first day is, who sold this land to these people, and where they were issued payment by the municipal assembly when they knew these places were actually reserved as a Ramsar site. Now, it was at this point that the minister, speaking to the media, made mention that the people who actually did those work by giving permit to people to build at the Ramsar site were punished, and the punishment given to them was them being sent to the northern regions. Now, people of the northern regions, or majority of people, have actually found this particular statement quite disrespectful to the people of the northern region. Now, it is actually a region that they were born and bred, and for them to realize their region is actually being used as a punishment center or a prison for anyone who has done a shady work in a district municipality here in the south, they have found this particular statement quite disrespectful. And some of them have asked the president of the land, John Dramani Mahama, who actually hailed from that particular part of the region, to sack this particular minister.
The next time we'll be here is about monitoring, and so we're putting a lot of measures in place to make sure that this time around, I mean, like you said, it's so much capital intensive. I mean, cost involved in this only exercise, you don't have an idea. Just after the demolition, they have to take care of the debris, we have to green the place and get its natural state back. And so it's not an easy thing. So sometimes, like I said, people must face the law and be responsible for whatever they've done. And so if you issue a permit to an illegal, knowing very well that the place is illegal, you issue permit, you also face the law. Some of them has been transferred to the north. I mean, just to serve, I mean, as a kind of punishment for them, so that when they realize that what they did was wrong, and they bring them back to Accra.
Now, the minister, or there has been an apology that came from the Ministry of the Greater Accra region. And that has been the issue that came out from the demolition exercise from the very first day. Now, the second day actually saw a 70-year-old man being assaulted. Now, this particular man in question was trying to stop the demolition of his apartment. Now, according to this particular man, the clothes and all cooking utensils are left in the building, and they have just been noticed night before that there will be a demolition exercise the next day. And they've come, and he felt that he should be allowed to pick up these particular stuffs. And also, he made mention that the building where he was living in belonged to a national security personnel. So he was trying to call this particular person so that he can speak to officials of the demolition exercise. Now, those particular plea has not been accepted, and they went on to have the demolition done. And he was not in agreement with that, and he was assaulted when he was trying to come in between the people having the demolition done. Now, he also continued to make mention that there are several buildings in the areas that were not demolished, and he felt that he was being targeted. Now, the whole incident was quite an emotional one, as he was being assaulted or held back in front of his children, who he mentioned that are in secondary school, and their uniforms and all that are stuck in the building that was going to be demolished.
No! I'm not doing this. Oh, memory. They'll kill me today. I can't back them. I'm not that shit. Hey, I'm back there. No. That's to kill me. So your friend, maybe some mukumi. I see a part of them. Whom my brother done, my brother was in the what better. What the machine is one worth trouble for. Asa, me mantari, ye didn't read any. Ye big yes, the yaw, the Jimmy. Mama notice. And around 5:30. And I say, my good thing. Meaning a man of a boy. A new 24 hours. Meaning a man of a boy. Oh, Ombekumi as a mafia. I'm telling you. Some put a raffle. Put the crew. The person bomb. Now, yes, and now. Some Mesobia, many a dino. And I didn't media. National security. What's on the back? I'm sitting. Are so young couple from my order. Young Cassancho Nipana, woman order. You can't buy. I'm out with you. President going my way. Also, my matare. Also, my matare. Mansquatare, Tezus, Esagus, Yampabua, and the pastor. Atari, I told you. It's me a day. Me paso muku. Some so much. Miss Romo. Oh,
Now, just as you've seen that the incident has been quite a sad one, a lot of people have complained that he was not supposed to be assaulted, even though he was trying to come in between the machine and all of that. Now, some people are also with the view that he should have allowed the workers to continue with the work. Now, I know you have your personal thoughts about the entire incident and the exercise in general. Go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss a latest upload on the channel. My name is Julius, and please Do have a great day.